that be at the forefront of the fight against racism and fascism. So it's no surprise that we have a whole number of speakers that represent different trade unions here in Britain today. So my next speaker, I'm really proud to introduce is Paul Kavanagh, who's the Regional Secretary of Unite the Union.
Kavanagh actually, but it is the right union, Unite the Union. Greetings and solidarity from Unite the Union, Britain's biggest union. Representing those people who drive your buses, those people who look after you in hospitals, those people who build your homes, and those people are from every corner of the world, from every race, every heritage and every culture, and we're proud of every single one of you. Yesterday, 250,000 people marched through the streets of London and in towns and cities across this country, telling Trump, the racist, misogynist, xenophobic global bully Trump, that he's not welcome here. The man who thought it was fine to pull crying children from their parents and lock them up in cages to stop the infestation of migrants, he's not welcome here. But we've got a bigger problem here on our doorstep, and it's the new rise of the far right, this time in the guise of the so-called Football Lads Alliance. They say they're not political, they're just against extremism and the grooming of children. But of course that's a smokescreen, a disgusting smokescreen, because all of us are against extremism, all of us are against child abuse, all of us are against bigotry. And let's be quite clear, we stand against terrorism wherever it comes from. Whether that's Islamist terrorism, whether it's fundamentalist Christian terrorism, far-right terrorism, state-sponsored terrorism, or state-delivered terrorism, we stand against it all. But the truth is, those behind the Football Lads Alliance have another insidious agenda. And in the finest traditions of the far right, they're preying on the real concerns of working class communities. It is of course right to expose and oppose fascism and racism wherever it rears its ugly head. But we must also get real, sisters and brothers, about the social and economic conditions that give rise to fascism. Inequality, poor housing, lack of education opportunities, 0 hours contracts, shit paying conditions, and yes, a feeling that you're being ignored, not listened to, even sneered at by the establishment and the political classes. We will always challenge racists and those who peddle racism, but we also need to engage with those who are being preyed upon by the hardline racists and fascists. We need to be clear in our opposition, but even clearer about what we stand for and how we're going to get there. Our vision of a fairer society will only be achieved through unity and equality. Unity and equality between workers, unity and equality between women and men, unity and equality between black and white. The usual far-right suspects are using these genuine concerns to build their base. And how better to reach working class men? And yes, they are mostly men, the clue's in the name, Football Lads Alliance, despite the fact that 26% of supporters are now women. What better way to get to these working class men than through football? And on the subject of football, how disgusting it was, how obscene it was to see the right-wing rags talk about how we should be celebrating our young lions, the English team, who represent and celebrate everything that's great about this country, including our diversity. Those same rags that have attacked every minority group in this country, who've attacked asylum seekers and refugees and migrant workers. So we won't take no effing lessons from them. No, sorry, wrong page.
Well done.
I'm just winding up now, folks. I believe it's time for the trade union movement to step up, be more proactive, and yes, take the lead. We will educate our members. We will go into every workplace that we organise in, and we will give our members the counter-arguments, and we will equip our activists with those counter-arguments. We'll be talking about unity and hope rather than hatred and the scapegoating of minorities. And we must redouble our efforts to address the concerns of our members, pointing out the simple truth that it's not the migrants, it's not the blacks, it's not the Muslims, it's not the Jews that are driving down our wages and attacking our terms and conditions. It's the bosses and the offshore tax evaders. It's them that's causing the growing inequality and the devastation of our public services. Let's stand up to the bigots. Let's stand up to the racists. Let's stand up to the bullies. But let's also build a movement that can transform this rotten system and replace hate with hope. Or to put it another way, and I'm going to wind up now, no Sieg Heiling on our streets. Our hands are for better things. Hands are for friendship. Hands are for holding. But they're also for raising in the fist of solidarity to build a world as one. Let's get those fists up. The fists of solidarity to build a world of unity, equality and fairness that, as one political leader of huge integrity, impeccable anti-racist credentials and fantastic principles says, a world for the many and not for the few. Solidarity!